Andy Dalton's supposedly the starter. Like, I'm still kind of catching up on some Panthers draft stuff. And Scott Fitterer, the general manager of the Carolina Panthers, was on Pro Football Talk and said, when I want to get to a couple of things. So let's go ahead and let me
Pop up our Panthers.
Yeah, let me go ahead and remove this part real quick, and let me see if I can pull up the Pro Football Talk story where there's no timeline for Bryce Young. Hopefully this audio works. This is Mike Florio with Scott Fitterer, the general manager of the Carolina Panthers, when he was asked about the timeline.
So what's the timetable for getting him on the field? You've got Andy Dalton, you've got Matt Corral, third rounder last year that suffered an injury fairly early in the process. We've just kind of forgotten he's even there, but he was a highly rated guy last year. How does it work from the standpoint of Bryce Young going from first overall pick to being your starting quarterback?
Yeah, we're going to rely on our coaches and the Jim Caldwell, Frank Reich, Thomas Brown to decide when is right. We don't have a timeline. We're not saying, hey, this guy's going to start the first game or we're not going to play him at all this year. When the time is right, where we felt like he's got enough in the mastery of the offense where he can go out and operate this and be successful, that's when he'll be out there. We went out and signed Andy Dalton for a reason. He played as a rookie. He's got a lot of experience. He understands his role we can play good football. If Andy's the guy to start the season and he's the starter right now heading into the season, then he'll be the guy. When Bryce is ready or Matt Corral is ready, whoever it may be.
All right. I heard enough. That's where Scott Fitterer gave away the game. Again, that was Scott Fitterer on with Pro Football Talk when he was talking to Mike Florio. That's where he gave away the game. When he said, and I quote, when Bryce is ready or Matt Corral is ready, whoever it may be, that'll be the time they go in. Joe, if Matt Corral is the guy who wins the job in camp, we got a problem, man. So don't give me everybody, it's an open competition. No, absolutely not. The fact that you even brought Matt Corral up, like, are you worried his feelings are going to get hurt, dude? Like, you gave away the game by bringing him up. Under no circumstances is Matt Corral going to be starting week 1 for the Carolina Panthers unless something catastrophic happens at camp or you really screwed up with the number 1 pick in the draft. You did not give up what you gave up for a franchise QB to not put him in, okay? And we can sit here and talk about all the Drew Brees comparisons because you brought up Drew Brees' comparison for Bryce Young, right? The height and everything else. Yeah. But let's understand when Drew Brees was drafted, he was drafted in the 2nd round. There was not this big push to get him in there. And he sat behind Doug Flutie for a season. That's not what this is. This is a Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. You're the guy. We've made moves to make sure that you are supported to be the guy. We have all this coaching staff that is meant for you to be the guy. So the expectation is you're going to start week 1. I get that it's silly season. It's May 10th, but come on, man. You can't be serious with Matt Corral too. Stop it.
Okay, this gave me bad flashbacks to Urban Meyer in his lone season with the Jaguars, trying to tell us and sell us on the fact that Trevor Lawrence was not going to be the starting quarterback. Now, they went about getting the number 1 overall pick the hard way, right? They earned it by being terrible.
Yes.
However, in the Panthers case, all of the points you just made are completely and totally valid. You did not trade away DJ Moore. You did not take the primary asset from Christian McCaffrey and trade it away to start Andy Dalton or to recycle Matt Corral's Linfrin's injury, Liz Frank injury, right. And get him going on day 1. No. So probably stop with that messaging. We've had conversations before about how the Panthers struggle with messaging. We wanted to attribute that to Matt Rule, but I think David Tepper and Scott Fitterer can kind of fall under that category. They went out. They were aggressive. I think they made great moves in who they hired. I think those coaches will make the right decisions. And I think forget Corral, something has gone seriously wrong in their math, in their evaluation if Bryce Young is not the starter in day 1. Now, can I appreciate him possibly trying to tamper expectations for Bryce Young? Sure. But he's the number 1 overall.
You can't tamper expectations for the overall number 1 pick.
1-1, as they like to say in the business.
And what you did to go get him. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And also, quite frankly, with that coaching staff and the players and the moves that they made around him, and I did appreciate that he had talked about in the interview with Pro Football Talk how they've redone the offensive line, what they've kind of gone and done. They didn't bring up Mingo, the receiver. I think he's another one of those sneaky pieces that's going to help them. Again, they've done a lot of good things. I just think this is one of the holdovers from the Rule era, their messaging. Yeah. And, they can improve upon that, of course.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's just a thing that they feel like they have to say.